Hi everyone, it's Mr. Carr, and today we're going to be looking at 1.1 day 2, and that is going to be focusing on angles. Today's lesson is going to be pretty quick. I just want to make sure we are clear on the exact geometric definitions for angles and how we're going to be using them and referring to them throughout pretty much the whole semester. Okay, so an angle, let's talk about definition. It is formed by two rays with the same endpoint called the vertex. So I said two rays. That's what this looks like right here. Here's a ray, and here's a ray. So that's an angle. But in all honesty, I can make angles in a few other ways too. I could just do two line segments. Okay? It doesn't have to be two rays, it can be two line segments. I could form angles with two lines. So I could do something like this. So two lines cross, then I have some angles. Okay, and that's going to apply in this next part, which is naming our angles. Two ways we name them. We either can call the angle by its vertex, so that's what it would look like this. So let's say I have an angle here, and let's call it the point B, and let's not do B, let's do point A. Okay, so to name this angle, I'll call it angle A, that's it. All right, and that's all that is. So that angle A is referring to the physical angle here. The other option is to use 3 points as long as the vertex is in the middle. So what I mean by that is this. So let's say I make 3 points and I go A, B, C. So I name that angle ABC here. Okay? Now I could, this is one option. I went A to B to C like that in that order. But I can also reverse that. This is also the same as angle CBA. Okay, if I went this direction, where I went here and then here, that's fine. The only key important thing is that the vertex is in the middle. That's all that matters for the naming if I use 3 points. So, some of you, I don't know if you think about this, but why would it matter if I do a single letter for the vertex or 3 letters like this? Well, this right here is the reason. If I form angles something like this, and I'm going to put B right there in the middle, okay, and I can put A, B, C, and let's go D and E. If I said angle B in this diagram, which angle am I talking about? There's 4 possibilities. I could go 1, I can go 2, I can go 3, I can go 4. There's 4 possibilities if all I said was angle B. So that's why in this scenario, I have to do 3 letters. A lot of scenarios, you can just stick with the 1 letter that's at the vertex, but if there's ever any debate like this, you need to use 3 letters. So if I very specifically want, change the color here, if I want this one, okay, I can name that as angle CBD. That's fine, okay, or DBC, either way works, all right? Before I get to the next section, let's talk about over here in this annotate part, indicating the measurement of an angle. So far when I talk about naming, I'm talking about the physical angle. Like where is that on my paper? Okay, where's angle DBC? It's right here at that spot. Okay, but if I talk about a measurement, I'm talking about the degree measure. Okay, so we're talking about something, it could be 30 degrees. It looks about, a little skinny angle. 90 degrees looks like this. Okay, 100 and something degrees goes bigger. So we want to notate the difference between naming an angle and the measurement of the angle. And that's what this is. If I put a little m in front of that angle symbol, that means the measurement of angle B. Okay? So when I put that little m there, I'm looking for an actual degree measurement. All right. So types of angles. We got 4 of them. In my first scenario, if an angle is between 0 and 90, okay, you've probably heard this term, that is an acute angle. Okay, anything that falls between 0 and 90. The opposite of that, if I have an angle that is between 90 and 180. So that in this case, I have the opposite of an acute angle, I have an ugly angle. Ha. Not quite. My angle that's in between 90 and 180 is obtuse. Okay? So I've got acute, I've got obtuse. If I measure exactly 90 degrees, that is my right angle. Okay? If the angle measure is exactly 180 degrees, that is my straight. Forgot to turn my notifications off. Oh well. My straight angle. Okay? So acute is going to be a skinny one that looks kind of like this. Obtuse usually looks something like this. Right angle, going to make like a nice little square edge there. The other thing with right angles is we notate that with a little box. We put a little square in the corner. That tells us it's a right angle. Straight angle, it's just a straight line. But you see that the angle there is making 180 degrees. Okay, so anytime I see a straight angle or a straight line like that, the angle measure I can measure is 180 degrees like that. All right. So I just have a couple examples I want to talk about in terms of naming these angles in terms of a clock. So hopefully you have access to some kind of a, analog clock here, whether you're at home, look it up online, whatever it takes. Okay. So if we consider the hands of a clock, measuring from the hour to the minute hand, determine the times that would create an obtuse angle. So we're going to try to find all of them that do that. I'm going to just draw rough sketches. So I've got for option A here, that's a clock. So let's see, we got that. It's 3:07. So we got 3 here. And 07 is going to be like a little bit, let's see here. So we got 12, we got 1, we got 2. Okay. So 3:07. There's minutes. That's about 7 minutes right there. And the 3 o'clock. So here's the thing to remember about the 3 o'clock. With the minute hand moving, the hour hand also moves. So it's not actually going to be on the 3. It's going to be a little bit past. Barely past, but still past. Okay. So measuring from the hour to the minute hand, if I look at it right here, like this, that is going to be an acute angle. Okay. The reason I know it's acute angle is to get exactly a right angle from like around 3 o'clock. It is at 3 o'clock. Okay. So if I do that over here, so there's 3 right there. That makes exactly a right angle at 3 o'clock. So if it goes past 3 o'clock, now I'm going to be less than a 90-degree angle. So I know it's not that. 3:30. This is another good one. This is always tricky. So same idea. The minute hand is going to go down here towards the 6 for 30. And a lot of people think that the hour hand is going to be right at the 3, but again, it's not. So we got 4 and 5. The hour hand is going to be in between the 3 and the 4. Okay? So this, if I look at that one, is also an acute angle. So no good. All right, option C here. So I got 3:45. Okay, so I've got 45, which is going to be all over here at the 9. There's my minute hand. And here's 3, here's 4. And again, because it's moving, it's going to be past the 3, closer to the 4 now. That's an obtuse angle. So there's one of them. Okay. So we're going to let's go ahead and just finish up D and E and just show those. So D is at 5 o'clock. So the minute hand, I'm just going to draw it up here. It's at the 12. And the 5 o'clock is going to be, so here's 3, here's 6, 4, and 5 o'clock. So there's the hour hand. Okay, you can definitely see that. There is an obtuse angle there. Okay, and last one is 5:58. All right, whoops. Get rid of that little extra mark. So 5:58. So 5:58 is almost at the 60 mark. So it's really, my minute hand is really close to this. Okay, we're getting close to the 60 minutes there. 5:58. So here's 6, there's 3, 4, 5. Again, the hour hand is not going to be at the 5. It's going to be past that. 5:58 is almost 6 o'clock. So it is right there. Here's what's a little tricky about this one. Maybe it's an obtuse angle, maybe it's a straight angle. I don't think we're going to be that specific. Looks like obtuse to me, so I'm going to go with obtuse. Okay, I'm not going to be mean and say, well, you know what? No, it's definitely obtuse, because if it was 6 o'clock, at 6 o'clock, that's when it's at a straight angle for sure. That's at a straight angle for 6 o'clock. So that means at 5:58, it's going to be 5:58. It's going to be at a little bit less than that. So it's definitely not a straight angle. All right, so that is an obtuse one. Okay, that's it for angles. We're trying to set the standard for angles now. You're going to see them a lot over the rest of your rest of this geometry class. Like you're going to see it all the way into second semester. It's very important that you understand the notation and like a couple of wrap ups. So I'm going to have you answer a couple of play pauses. What do you think is the most important things about angles for today? All right. So we'll meet next time we meet. We'll start going over homework and we'll discuss those a little bit further. Until then, I'll talk to you later then. Bye.